Hello, my dear audience. This is my Smart Contracts blog. My name is Olga Labai, and I'm a lawyer who specializes in contracts in upstream oil and gas. This episode is about critical things that you can do and implement in your contracting practices to save absolute fortune on your contracting, to save yourself from losses in your contracting, and basically organizing everything to be absolutely critically efficient. Let's begin. Every step to improving your contracting practice, making it really supremely efficient, will contain the video that you can watch with more details, because now we're just doing a brief summary of what can be done. First, and absolutely most important thing, create contract risk allocation procedure for the contracting in your organization. If you are a procurement organization, create one for your procurement effort. If you are a contractor organization, create two. One for your contract risk allocation with the clients, and one for your contract risk allocation with your suppliers and contractors. Two, draft, think through, and implement master service agreements where you can possibly think about. Every category that you can cover in your procurement effort by master service agreement, please do. Third, improve your templates. Think how many of them you miss. Think how complex they are. Think how consistent they are. Think how they have actually been responding to your procurement or commercial needs, and improve them, and make the exercise of updating those templates an annual story. Fourth, conduct contract knowledge evaluation within the teams of procurement, commercial, and technical professionals that don't have legal background, because if you have legal background, you're supposed to know contracts and be proficient with contracts. It's non-lawyers who you want to evaluate to see where their gaps are. The biggest lesson that I've received during years of training on terms and conditions and contracts in the industry is that very often even senior professionals know a lot about one topic because they dealt with that topic. For instance, they know indemnities very well in the contracts, and know almost nothing about other topic because they just didn't have experience of dealing, let's say, with termination or suspension cases. So the disparity of the knowledge will be visible, and the gaps will be visible during such contract knowledge evaluation exercise. 5, very obvious, conduct the training. Remove the disparity of the knowledge. Give people enough of the information that they, as people who work with contracts, know what they are dealing with. So the forwarding to lawyers, waiting for the lawyer to respond on a warranty clause, that doesn't have to happen at all, will basically bit by bit eliminate itself. So your procurement professional or your commercial professional doesn't have to lawyer on warranties, on termination, suspension, force majeure clauses, on sometimes even on confidentiality clauses, if that person is able to identify that that confidentiality clause already contains all the bare minimum that it has to, so they can proceed. But I'm talking about specifically commercial and technical clauses like lost and hold clause, where the lawyer doesn't have to be there. Empower the people who work with contracts. They're backbone of your contracting, and contracting is the backbone of your revenue generation. As an organization, identify people who will participate in those industry associations and organizations and create an impact and influence model contracts. This is the trend setting. This is the fashion setting, but still it's understanding of the history of why certain things work certain way in our industry. Certain insurances influence certain indemnities and risk allocation in the contracts. Those influence how we write contracts, how we negotiate them. All of that is possible if you as an organization invest yourself as, let's say, a drilling contractor, you have to be the part of International Association of Drilling Contractors and of its contracting initiatives. Mandate negotiations. Prohibit, eliminate, and absolutely put ban on non-negotiating policy. That will visibly increase the time you spend with contracts. But in a long run, actually in quite a short run, but let's say in a long run, it will save you millions. Not negotiating the contract, being an organization that says my terms and conditions are non-negotiable, is the first step to insanity. Why? Because your tender and your negotiations or whatever contact you have with the supplier or with the client starts with a template. And that template was drafted 10 years ago. It was not meant to fit the purpose. It was never meant to be as specific as you need it to be. Negotiations, that contractor that comes back to you with many deviations, is the only way you can test the quality of your template, you can improve it, you can have clear feedback, and you can see where you actually need to strain contractors a little bit, where they want and ask too much, and you can understand why, maybe they're getting that somewhere, but also to grow your own personnel, make them proficient in that process. And bit by bit, again, maybe it's not such a long run as it seems to be, but bit by bit, improve your contract templates and improve your ability to customize that contract template. So you don't have to negotiate actually at the end of the day. At the end of the day, your contract template that you put into your tender comes back with little to no deviations because it is fair. And that's how you grew it. You almost groomed it to be fair and based on the industry standard. Through planned implementation of these critical steps, you will improve your contracting and will take you, if you're a large organization, an operating organization, it may take you up to 6, 7, 8 months if you actually invest in it. And then, as a supply chain manager of that operating organization, again, this applies to commercial revenue generating organizations as well, you will be able to see the return on your investment. People are clear what they're doing with contracts. People know when and how they need to raise the need for the legal advice, when they don't need a lawyer. That's specifically applicable in upstream oil and gas, where legal teams are small, but procurement teams are large, and the capital intensity of the projects are humongous. You will see how your templates got improved, and your contractors see that effort and they respond positively to that effort. Somewhere along the lines, you will understand that contractor asking for limit of the liability because you went and looked at those model contracts is not a bad thing. And it's actually all right to provide that limit of liability. Somewhere along the line, as an operating organization, you will be able to understand that dropping the risk of reservoir damage on an oilfield services contractor isn't pure nonsense. You will stop doing so. So you will stop actually wasting time in the negotiation rooms. Your procurement will become faster, and as a result, you will get to the point where you can say, I've drilled the well, I've completed the well, and I start producing much faster. And that's all just through improving the veins of your business, the veins of our industry, our contracts. And if they're clogged with garbage, with bad quality contracts, there is no flow. Expand them, clean them from the garbage, make them really well quality, and those veins will allow more flow, better procurement, better relationship, smooth interaction with your suppliers, and as a result, savings of millions of dollars in your business. Join me for the online live class on implementing critical steps for improving your contracting and contracting practices in your organization. I will talk about each of those steps that I listed and some more in more details, and will give practical tips and tools and respond to your specific questions about how to really, where to begin, what to do, how do we actually concentrate on all of those steps, and where do we start, what's first, what's last. And during that class, we'll be able to identify where do you need more help and where do you actually don't need help. Maybe you have contracting risk allocation procedure that needs a little bit of an update, that's it. Or maybe it's perfect and works perfectly, but you did not include master service agreement into the way you're doing business, or you've never evaluated the knowledge of the personnel with no legal background that works with the contract, and so on and so forth. The easiest way to join this class is by clicking the link below this video, and I will be happy to see people around the globe that are interested in efficient contracting in upstream, downstream and midstream in oil and gas. Thank you for listening.